Welcome to Trinity. I'm Jeffrey Friedley. This is Mark Nyworth. If you didn't get a program with translations, we have some of those at the back, so please help yourself to one of those. There's a lot of German, and the English can be quite revealing, so if you want to stand up, I'm going to just make a quick introduction and say a couple of thank yous, and then we'll do this beautiful music. So if you need to run back and get one, don't hesitate. So I teach music history and singing at our university here in town, Idaho State University. And one of the ideas, one of the musical genres that we talk about at some point in our musical classes is the idea of German lieder and of cycles of lieder, song cycles. And so we're going to perform today a very well-known song cycle. But as I've introduced some of these different kinds of works over the years, I've realized there's a very distinct difference between this one that we're doing today and a couple of other works, some other works that are admittedly great, but have very different endings. And so you're noticing perhaps the please stay signs around town. I think we have a National Day of Mental Health or something coming up here in a couple of weeks, maybe at the end of October. I think that's right, maybe on the 25th, or National Days of Caring. And so as I have, and as my students and I have talked about these works, it's become clear to me that there's something special in what happens to the character over the course of these songs. So we meet this self, the speaker in the poems, right? A person, let's say it's a young man, singing about a young woman that he has fallen in love with. And over the course of these 16 songs, he falls head over heels in love, expresses that love, kind of thinks it's going well, and then realizes, oh, she's marrying somebody else. Literally, here's the sounds of the wedding music. Das ist ein Flöten und Geige. And then proceeds to experience, sadness, rejection, desolation. And then finally, along about song number 12, he's walking in the garden, and the flowers actually speak to him. So it's magic poetry, right? The flowers literally say words. And then, completely separate from the poetry, by Heinrich Heine, great German romantic poet, Robert Schumann provides this beautiful kind of apotheosis of a postlude, music at the end of that song. And it's almost like you start to sense, or I've begun to interpret that moment in the cycle, that the self, the speaker, is beginning to heal. And even though over the course of the next several songs he's still expressing anguish, he begins to laugh at himself. And finally, in the last song, he does something that characters in romantic plays and operas and dramas and poetry almost never do. He decides, and he says to you, the reader, the audience, the listener, he says, I'm going to bury my love and my pain and move on. And so as I've introduced some of these ideas to students in class, it's really sort of struck me that I remember in college, I remember professors introducing a poem or a short story or a play, or even a movie, and saying, okay, now we're going to talk about this character, but this is a character that you should not identify with. Do not associate with what this character is about to do, because it won't end well for that person. And I remember hearing that so many times, and this is a character who actually goes on and lives healthily. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to present these songs again, because it has such a beautiful, healthy result. And so thanks to Heinrich Heine who wrote the poetry, about 175 years ago, something like that. And thanks to Robert Schumann, who himself struggled seriously with mental health in his life, who wrote the music. Thanks to the members and the vestry of Trinity and to Haiti for helping us make these performances possible today. Thanks to some donors who helped defray some expenses. And thanks to Piano Gallery for providing this lovely instrument for us to perform with today. And thank you to my friend Mark. And here is Dichterliebe.
Ich will meine Seele tauchen in Keltenhöhe hinein. Die Nähe soll klingen, tauchen, ein Lied von der Liebsten mein. Das Lied soll schauen und wehen, wie der Kuss von ihrem Mund, den sie mir einst gegeben, in wunderbar süßer Im heiligen Strome, da spiegelt sich die Welt mit seinem großen Chor, der große heilige Quell. Im Dom schlägt ein Bildnis auf goldenem Leder gemalt. In meines Lebens Bildnis hat's freundlich hineingestrahlt. Es